James woke up that morning with a problem. He laid still for a moment as a cloud of unrest hung over him. Something had changed. James sat up to find that he had in fact woken in a bed, his first preferences of places to wake up. Further inspection confirmed it was his bed, which was logical considering it was where he had fallen asleep the night before. Nothing seemed different. And yet, something felt different. James went on with his usual morning routine without hindrance. He ate his breakfast. He showered quickly, as if being watched. He cleaned his teeth briefly, only for the sake of hygiene. After selecting his black shirt over the brown one, which itched along the stitching, James finally dressed himself. James, however, could not articulate his discontent. The problem inexplicably eluded him, dangling just beyond his comprehension. Did he have a brain tumor? Was there somebody out to get him? James felt vulnerable. He couldn't understand why. He felt like he was being watched, or worse, analysed.
Hi, how are you?
James faltered. The barista had caught him off guard. His mind went blank when confronted with this simple question.
Sorry, would you like to order something?
This encounter was proving considerably embarrassing for James. His feelings of trepidation were preventing him from ordering a simple non-dairy cappuccino with 2 sugars.
If you'd like a regular cappuccino, that'll be $4.50.
James still could not put his finger on it. He was becoming increasingly paranoid. David was in many circumstances a good friend to James. James always admired David's confidence in social situations, especially when ordering coffees. Equally admirable was David's ability to shotgun 2 beers in a row. Such behaviour, however, made James skeptical of calling him a good friend. That, and because he found backward trucker caps unattractive and cliché.
Wait, what? Why are you talking like that?
Talking like what? What do you mean? James found David's question to be unusual.
That right there. Talking like you're reading or something.
The realization finally dawned upon James. His thoughts were being constructed in the form of third-person narration. He considered the implications of this. It seemed absurd. The sheer fact that James was now aware that he was verbalizing it in a narrating voice was not reassuring.
Trucker caps are cool, by the way.
He was panicked. He had to find help before he continued to embarrass himself.
Sir, your coffee.
James had always been uncomfortable at the prospect of psychiatric consultation. For the most part, he considered it an unreliable science practiced by smug frauds. He also saw the experience as something manipulative and intrusive. At least the first session was free.
So, I see your thoughts are occurring in the third person.
James had never thought about his thoughts before. They'd always simply been thoughts to him.
So, your thoughts are normally in first-person narration, perhaps a stream of consciousness?
Stream of consciousness? This perplexed James. That was, of course, what thoughts were, in the literal sense.
Oh, you mean literary?
I meant literal.
So, You're hearing your own thoughts as though they were coming from some omniscient point of view. Well, this seems like a textbook case of narcissistic delusion. Do you happen to be a writer?
Not a proper one. I could never get inside the protagonist's head.
I think you should start writing again.
James doubtfully accepted the psychiatrist's obvious suggestion. At least the first session was free.
Oh, you've already said that.
That evening, James found himself again staring vacantly at a blank document. A fresh cup of non-dairy coffee with 2 sugars was the only thing that sat in between him and a potential work of genius. Well, that and crippling self-doubt. Suddenly the words came pouring out of him, transcribing themselves onto the page with ease and fluidity. Some hours later, James eased back with great satisfaction. He reviewed the piece he had poured so much of himself into. Every feeling, every anxiety, every thought. Self-realization had happened at last. Self-indulgent crap.